Welcome to another lesson, students. Today you are going to learn how to solve equations with variables on both sides when there's a letter on both sides of your equation. So when you get a problem like this, I just want to clarify that it does not matter which side you label as your variable side. So you can either put it on the left side of the equal sign or the right side of the equal sign. So let's go through method one, putting it on the left side. If you label this as your variable side, it means you want to eliminate anything without a variable on it first. So you want to get rid of this 13 by subtracting a 13. And when you do it to the other side, just make sure you don't put it in the middle. Make sure you put it below the ones that match like terms with it. So since that's just a number, you're going to have to subtract it to this one right here. Minus 13, and then just rewrite and simplify your results. Now you're left with 4x equals negative 12 minus, and if you're getting confused, if that doesn't have a number, you can even put 1x. You can put a 1 right there if you want. Same thing. Before you get tempted to divide by negative 4, do not just divide by negative 4 to get x by itself, because x is not by itself yet. You have to gather all the x's on one side. So you have to move this minus 1x by adding 1x to the other side. That will eliminate it on the right. And now you simplify once again. You got negative 3x equals negative 12. And then divide by negative 3 to get x by itself. X equals 4. If you solve it on the right side, if you gather your x's on the right side, you will still get the same answer. So if you want x's on this side, and this is the same exact problem, you'll get the same answer. I just want to prove to you that it doesn't matter. You could get rid of this negative 1 first, or this positive 1, by subtracting a 1. And make sure you line it up to the one that's like terms with it. So you're going to have to subtract on the other side of the equal sign to this 13. Now you simplify. You got 12 minus 4x. We said that canceled. Minus or equals negative. And if that doesn't have a number, you can put a 1. Maybe it'll confuse you less. You want to gather all your x's on the right side of the equal. So they're not all gathered there yet. You got to move this minus 4x by adding a 4x. Now you simplify once again. Now you got 12 to drop down. This cancels out. And you got 3x. Last step, divide by 3. And as you can see, you will get the same answer. X equals 4. To check your answer, all you have to do is retrace and plug it back into your original equation like this. And as long as they check out, as long as both sides of the equal sign are equal, then you're good. So just plug in your answer, your 4. And if you do that correctly, you'll get negative 3 equals negative 3. If these two answers are equal, then you don't have to ask your teacher, am I doing this right? You can check it out on your own. Let's try another example. I know you hate when your teachers give you guys stuff and it doesn't look like the example that they just went over, but you just have to think a little bit. When you get an equation with variables on both sides and there's a lot of things going on, all you have to do is simplify each side first by combining like terms or using the distributive property. So let's do the left. Let's do the left side. Simplify first. You gotta distribute before you combine like terms. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5n is 20n. And then this negative 8, you could just line it up right here. That's an easier way to combine like terms. And I do have a separate video for that if you want to know that strategy. So all I'm doing is combining like terms. Instead of writing it here, I'm just matching it up to the one that's like terms with it. because it's easier to combine up and down. The right side, there is nothing to distribute, there's nothing to combine, so just leave it alone. Negative 6n minus 14, and then just simplify. 4 drops down, 20 minus 8 is positive 12n equals negative 6n minus 14. Once again, it does not matter what side you want to put your variables in. Some people have a preference of putting it on the term with a larger variable, the more positive one. That way you can avoid negative answers. So let's just do that. If you want to do it that way, that's fine with me. Let's label this as my variable side, meaning I have to get rid of any term that does not have an n. So that's that 4 by subtracting a 4. When you do it to the other side, make sure that you strategize. Make sure that you subtract the 4 from the one that's just a number, which is this 14. So sometimes these switches, just make sure you put it to the one that's like terms with it. That's going to cancel. Now you're left with 12n equals negative 6n, and negative 14 minus 4 is negative 18. You're putting your n's on the left side, so you're going to have to move this by adding 6n to both sides. Now you got 18n equals, this cancels out, negative 18, last step, divide by 18, and you'll get your answer. N equals negative 1. Here's another example, a little different, but remember, try to combine like terms, try to distribute first and simplify before you start solving. Here is the answer for that question. Remember to simplify first by distributing. So I distributed that, and when I combine like terms, I like to combine like terms putting it into similar columns, putting the terms into like term columns, because it's easier for me to add going up and down. So negative 3 plus 8 is 5, x 3 minus 24, negative 21. I'm just adding it up and down, so don't get confused by that if I'm not writing it on the side. It's just a better strategy in my opinion. Doing the right side, same thing. You can combine these two, simplify, and once you get to this part, you can start solving. Doesn't matter if you label this side your x or this side. Play around with it, try to switch it up a little bit so you get better practice. At the end, if you solve it, you will get 7. Always check your answers, plug that back in, and as long as both sides are equal, you did it right. So hopefully you understand how to solve equations with variables on both sides. If that helped, throw me a like, a subscribe. Until then, I will see you on the next episode. Peace.